Hello, Daniel. Thank you for your letter. And so I understand from your letter that you would like to know what a Raspberry Pi is. Well, a Raspberry Pi is a little tiny computer that you code yourself, that you program yourself, and lots more besides. So here we are. We're in my home laboratory. This is where I plan lots of your science lessons, and during lockdown this is where I recorded lots of your lessons as well. This is my desk. This is where I work, and the bit that you're interested in, this little tiny thing here, this is a Raspberry Pi. It's a computer. I don't know how much you know about computers, but it's a reasonably powerful computer. It connects to the internet. It's got a 4 GB RAM in it. The memory inside it is as big as the memory card that you pop in it. It runs an operating system called Linux, which I don't know if you're aware of Linux. It looks very much like Windows. So if I show you my screen, here's my screen. Look, you've got a start menu down here, like you would do with any normal computer. However, there are extra things that you can do with a Raspberry Pi. Okay, lots of extra things you can do. You'll notice that one of the things I've got attached to my Raspberry Pi is this tiny little circuit board. If I zoom in, this tiny little circuit board here that's attached by this cable to my Raspberry Pi. This is a camera. Now, I don't know if you play Minecraft, but with that camera and with a little bit of computer code, I don't know if you can see this, but what you can do is you can get it, you can take a photograph, a selfie of yourself, and your selfie will then appear in Minecraft. If I show you how I've done that, so I took a photograph. Let's just find a little bit of computer code. I don't know if you're into coding, but this is all written with Python. And all this computer code here does is it takes that photograph that you take of yourself and turns it into a backdrop for Minecraft. So that's one of the things you can do with the Raspberry Pi. The other thing that's really interesting that I'm particularly interested in is, if I get a little bit closer, do you see all these pins here? Well, what these pins mean that you can do is you can then build your own electronic circuits that are then controlled by the computer itself. So here it is. I've built a really simple little circuit. I've got a couple of wires attached to my Raspberry Pi computer, and in my circuit I've got a little what looks like a light bulb. It's actually called an LED, and I've got a little thing here. This is called a resistor that we talked about in year 7. And then with a tiny little bit of computer code, you can tell get the Raspberry Pi to tell the little LED, to tell the little light bulb to flash on and off. So really that's what a Raspberry Pi is. Now I have got another one actually, if I can just find it. I'll show you. There are lots of different versions of the Raspberry Pi. Here's another version. This was my very first Raspberry Pi. This is about getting on for 10 years old now, and it's really slow. I've got another one. If I just have a little look in my box full of little things. This one, this also is a Raspberry Pi computer. That's a whole computer with the same operating system and everything else that you've seen on my other one. That tiny little thing, about the size of a matchbox, is a computer. So that's what a Raspberry Pi is. It's a little tiny computer that you can program yourself. You can then get the computer to do other things. Other things that I've done with mine is I've made myself a little robot, and I've then used an old what was it called, a Nintendo Wii remote, hacked the Bluetooth signal from that and controlled my little robot with a little camera attached to the front, and it's just loads and loads of fun. They're not very expensive either. while we're here, do you want to see the other things I've got in my laboratory? We start at the top here. I don't know if you can see this machine here. This is called a pyrographer machine. What that allows you to do, these little probe things here, mean that you can draw on wood by burning the wood. I've got down here my rather flash soldering iron. What else have we got here that you might be interested in? Oh, I've got a little air conditioning fan that I made. So this is an old bit of a computer that I've pinched. What else have I got here that I've made? Oh, of this little device. I switch it on. What this little device does is it tests electronic components for me to let me know whether they're working or not. Oh, this one. This is quite interesting. Oh, I haven't got a power supply at the moment. This is, do you remember when we did the waves topic? We looked at something called a cathode ray oscilloscope. Well, this is kind of like a modern version of the oscilloscope. I'm quite proud of this because I made this myself. Other things that I have in my my laboratory, there's all my tools and other bits and pieces, more tools over there. One of the things I do like to do in my laboratory is I like to build guitars. So here's one of my guitars that I've made. Here's another of my guitars that I've made. I also like to put little circuits together to make other bits for my guitar. So here's something that I've built for my guitar. Here's another little project I've got on the go. Here's something else that I've built for my guitars. What else have we got here in my laboratory? All sorts of bits of circuitry that I like to take to bits and see if I can work out how it all goes together. So anyway, hope that answered your question. It was lovely to have that letter from you, and I hope you found all that interesting. Anyway, hope to see you soon.